Hello, my dear friends. If you're over 70, let me tell you something important. Your time is too precious to waste. Every minute matters, and there are 10 things you could be spending your time on that are holding you back from living your best years. Trust me, you need to hear all 10, especially the last one. It might just change your life. Let's get started. On chasing perfection. I'm starting with this one because it's something that weighs on us for so much of our lives. Perfection. What a concept. We've all fallen into the trap of thinking we have to be perfect in everything we do. The house must always be spotless. Our hair must always look the way it did when we were 40, and heaven forbid we leave the house without being put together. The thing is, as we get older, we start to realize how exhausting and unattainable that idea really is. How many times have you spent hours making sure everything is just right, only to feel disappointed when it's not? Or spent all your energy doing something that really doesn't bring you any joy, but you did it to meet some imaginary standard? That kind of stress isn't worth it anymore. Look, we've lived through enough to know life doesn't need to be flawless for it to be fulfilling. And truth be told, a perfectly clean home or pristine outfit won't give you the kind of happiness that makes life worth living. The people who love you don't care if your floors have a few spots or your blouse isn't pressed. What matters most is the love, laughter, and wisdom you've gained along the way. If a few things are a little less than perfect, that's not a sign of failure. It's a sign that you've learned to focus on what really matters. It's time to embrace the messy, imperfect, authentic beauty of life and let go of the expectation to be perfect. Instead, aim for a life that's perfectly you, because that's far more valuable than chasing something that doesn't exist. Keeping up with trends. Trends. Always changing, always evolving, and always demanding our attention. When we were younger, the latest trend might have felt like the only way to stay in the loop, to stay relevant, and maybe even to feel youthful or fashionable. I'm sure we've all bought that must-have item or tried something new just because it was the latest craze, only to look back a few years later and wonder, what on earth was I thinking? Here's the truth. Keeping up with trends just doesn't make sense after 70, and it's freeing to let go of that pressure. The world today moves so fast. There's always something new, a new fashion statement, a new piece of tech, a new social media platform to master. It's exhausting, isn't it? But after all the years of trying to keep up, now is the time to choose what truly matters. You've earned your right to enjoy what speaks to your heart, not what others deem necessary. In fact, the constant hustle to stay ahead of trends can be a trap, draining your energy and focus. Why waste your precious time worrying about the latest it item or the coolest app? What you loved 10 or 20 years ago, whether it's your favorite brand of shoes, your preferred way of communicating with friends, or a style that makes you feel confident, is still just as valuable today as it was back then. True style isn't found in the fleeting trends of the moment. It's found in the classics, and more importantly, in being true to who you are. It's in making choices based on what's meaningful to you, not what anyone else is telling you should matter. Take a moment to think about how much joy you could unlock just by focusing on timeless things. Maybe it's a favorite hobby, cherished memories, or items that carry deep sentimental value. These things hold a richness that can never be replaced by whatever is being promoted this year. The world might be moving fast, but you don't have to. What truly matters is your peace, comfort, and happiness. No app, no trend, no hot new idea will ever deliver that the way a life full of authenticity can. 3. Comparing yourself to others. Comparisons. Perhaps one of the most natural things we do, especially as we get older. We look at others, whether it's a friend, a family member, or even someone we see on TV, and we think, they seem so much younger, so much more put together. They have it all. We've all fallen into that trap at some point. It might be because someone seems to be living a more exciting life, or perhaps they look physically younger. But let me tell you something I've learned over the years. Comparing yourself to others at this stage of life only robs you of your peace and your joy. It's a silent thief, stealing your energy and leaving you feeling frustrated and unworthy. The thing is, everyone's journey is completely different. While someone else might seem to be running ahead, there's no way to truly know what's going on in their lives. Maybe they've got challenges you don't see. Maybe they have everything they want, and maybe, just maybe, you're exactly where you need to be. When you compare yourself to someone else, you're trying to measure your worth by standards that don't belong to you. It's like comparing apples to oranges. They're both fruits, but they're completely different. Instead of wondering why you're not like someone else, start focusing on what makes you amazing. The life you've lived, the wisdom you've gathered, the people you've loved, those are the things that define you. Not the number on someone else's scale, not how quickly they seem to move through life. The only person you should ever compare yourself to is the person you were yesterday. And the truth is, you're doing wonderfully. By embracing who you truly are and the beauty of what you've accomplished in your own life, you can let go of the need to compete or compare. When you let go of comparisons, you make room for gratitude and self-compassion. Those are gifts you truly deserve after all the experiences, growth, and love you've shared throughout the years. Worrying about what others think. Oh, how many years have we spent worrying about how others view us? Worrying that we're being judged for not fitting into a certain mold, that we're too old to wear something or too different to have a voice that stands out. At some point, society will always give you rules to follow, rules that are outdated or ones that don't even apply to you anymore. But let me tell you, dear, as you enter your later years, you begin to realize the truth about all that worry. It simply doesn't matter. By the time you're over 70, you've lived enough to know that people will think whatever they want about you, and there's not a single thing you can do to control that. Here's the kicker. The majority of the time, people are so caught up in their own lives and challenges that they don't even have the mental energy to pay attention to what you are doing. It's an eye-opening realization. You're not the center of everyone else's world like you may have once believed. I know, it may feel a bit daunting at first, but it's truly freeing once you embrace it. No one can control your happiness unless you let them. At this stage in life, the things you care about, your family, your health, your experiences, your passions, are what truly matter. Does the approval of others really have any true weight? You've lived, you've loved, and you've earned the right to live authentically. No one can take away your confidence once you let go of those concerns about being judged. Do what makes you happy. If you want to wear something bright and colorful when others expect you to wear beige, do it. If you want to tell a joke, share a story, or voice an opinion in a room full of strangers, do it. Your voice, your presence, your authenticity are what make you valuable. Let the worries about what others think fade into the background where they belong and make space for what really nourishes your soul. 5. Trying to please everyone. If there's one thing we've likely learned after all these years, it's that trying to please everyone is not only impossible, but it's also completely exhausting. Think about it. We've spent much of our lives trying to fit into the expectations of others. Whether it was our families, our friends, or society, there was always this unspoken pressure to say the right thing, act the right way, and never cause a stir. But you know what? As we get older, that need to constantly please others fades away, and we begin to realize something profound. It's okay to say no. At some point, we've said yes to things we didn't want to do just to avoid disappointing someone. Maybe it was attending an event we weren't excited about, saying yes to tasks we knew we didn't have the energy for, or agreeing to take on obligations that we had no desire to fulfill. But here's the harsh reality. Not everyone will be happy with you all the time, and that's not your responsibility. Pleasing others at the expense of your own happiness and well-being will only lead to resentment and exhaustion. At 70 plus, we deserve to say no without guilt, And honestly, the more you prioritize your own needs and desires, the more the people around you will respect you, not because you give in to their demands, but because you stand firm in your boundaries. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't be kind or considerate, or that we should live a completely self-centered life. But there's a huge difference between being kind and bending over backward to fulfill the needs of others at the cost of your peace. Understand that your happiness is just as important as anyone else's. People will still love you when you put yourself first, and if they don't, that says more about them than about you. There's a kind of liberation that comes with shedding that need to please. Say no to things that drain you. Say yes to things that make you feel alive. You deserve to spend the time left doing what fills you up, not what others think you should be doing. Overcommitting yourself. I'm sure over the years, we've all said yes to more than we could handle. Sometimes because we felt obligated, sometimes because we just wanted to be helpful, or sometimes because we didn't know how to say no. But let me tell you something. At 70 plus, our time is a precious commodity. And while it can feel good to help others, there's something more important at play now. Our energy and time are far too valuable to waste on overcommitting ourselves. Overcommitting doesn't just mean filling up your calendar with events and tasks. It means draining your emotional and physical resources until there's nothing left for yourself. Whether it's volunteering for yet another organization, agreeing to take on a household task that someone else should be handling, or pushing yourself beyond your limits just because someone asked for your help, the end result is the same. Exhaustion. And I'm sure you've noticed, as we get older, that exhaustion takes longer to recover from, leaving you feeling depleted and perhaps even resentful. The truth is, you've earned the right to manage your time however you see fit. Don't feel like you owe anyone more of your time than you're willing to give. I've learned the hard way that overcommitting leads to burnout, and in many cases, it's a disservice both to yourself and to others. When you're constantly spreading yourself thin, you give less of yourself to everything you do, and in the end, no one benefits. Instead, embrace the beauty of not doing it all. If you don't have the energy or desire to commit to something, it's okay to let go or pass on the request. When you manage your time well and avoid overcommitting, you free yourself up to do the things that matter most. Whether it's spending time with loved ones, pursuing a personal passion, or simply resting, those moments are the ones you'll cherish. Learning to say no and protect your energy isn't selfish. It's necessary for your well-being. The world will keep turning, whether you agree to that extra task or not. What matters most now is your peace. 7. Chasing miracles or quick fixes. As we get older, we often hear about miracle solutions, whether it's a magic pill for better health, a quick fix to turn back the clock on our appearance, or a product that promises to make life perfect. You've probably seen countless ads promising a guaranteed solution to your aches and pains, or read headlines about a revolutionary treatment that could make you feel decades younger. It can be tempting, can't it? Especially when you're tired, worn out, or feel like you're losing a little bit of your vitality. But let me tell you, chasing after these so-called miracles or shortcuts to feeling better often leads to more disappointment than anything else. The thing is, there's no magic pill for true well-being, just like there's no easy way to add years to your life overnight. These promises often turn out to be just that, promises, with no real substance behind them. And every time we chase these quick fixes, we end up not only empty-handed, but possibly feeling worse. Trust me, I know how easy it is to hope for a quick solution, but there's an important lesson here. Your body and mind deserve more than temporary fixes. True health and well-being come from sustainable changes, daily habits that nourish you, thoughtful care for your body and mind, and loving acceptance of your age. Instead of putting your hopes in miracle products or empty promises, focus on things that give you lasting joy, like a walk outside, a nourishing meal, time with friends or family, and having time to simply rest. There are no shortcuts when it comes to truly enjoying the later years of life. While that might sound less exciting, it's also incredibly freeing. No more running after things that overpromise and underdeliver. You're better off living in the moment, enjoying the little joys life brings every day. Worrying about what you should be doing at your age. I don't know about you, but the older I get, the more I realize that society's idea of what someone should be doing at a certain age is completely out of touch with reality. I've seen it, heard it, and probably said it myself at some point. The expectations for what seniors should be doing, how they should look, what they should be eating, and where they should be spending their time. The truth is, these expectations are outdated and restrictive, and they do no justice to the unique beauty of this stage in life. You've lived a full life, so why spend one more minute worrying about what the world thinks you should be doing? I've heard people talk about retiring at a certain age, quitting active hobbies, slowing down, or completely changing their lifestyle just because society says that's the appropriate thing to do. But the beauty of life after 70 is that you can make your own rules. If you still love hiking, gardening, dancing, or anything else that might be considered unexpected for someone your age, then do it. There is no age limit to living a vibrant, adventurous life. And if you want to stay home and curl up with a good book, that's completely valid too. Worrying about the shoulds puts unnecessary pressure on you to conform to someone else's vision of what aging looks like. Instead, ask yourself what you want from this time. What gives you joy, what feels fulfilling, and what keeps you feeling excited about life? That's the only path worth pursuing. Don't let society's norms dictate what you can and can't do. You've earned the freedom to make your own decisions, and trust me, the best part of growing older is knowing that you've been there and done that. And now it's time to live life your way, free from the judgment and the shoulds. 9. Putting off doing what you love. How many times have we told ourselves, I'll do that when I'm older, or when I have more time, I'll take up that hobby? As we get older, we might find ourselves saying things like, I'll travel more when I retire, or I'll start painting once I'm settled. But here's the thing we all need to understand. There's no better time than now to start doing the things you love. Life has a funny way of slipping through your fingers, and all of a sudden, a decade has passed, and those things you planned to do later have never happened. Don't let this beautiful stage of life pass you by, filled with regret that you didn't take the opportunity to truly enjoy the things that bring you happiness. When we were younger, there was always this rush to get ahead, to build careers, take care of responsibilities, and do things when you're older. Well, now you are older, and it's the perfect time to rediscover all the joys you've put on hold. You don't need to wait for some grand milestone or for other people to be ready to pursue your passions. Want to travel to that dream destination? Book that ticket. Always wanted to try watercolor painting? Buy the supplies and give it a go. There are no rules in your later years. You are free to explore new adventures, develop new skills, and revisit old passions. Too often, we underestimate how much joy we can find in these years by making small changes, by taking on the things that light us up. Start today. Stop postponing it. Tomorrow is never promised, but what is promised is the ability to pursue what brings you joy right now. So what are you waiting for? There's no time like the present. 10. Fearing change or new beginnings. There's no getting around it. Getting older means change. Some changes may be gentle, while others may come at you like a freight train. And I'll be the first to admit, it can feel unsettling at times. Maybe it's downsizing your home, moving into a new area, or changing the routine you've grown accustomed. 2. We're taught throughout our lives that change is difficult, scary, and to be avoided if possible. But let me tell you, at this stage, embracing change is one of the most liberating things you can do. It's easy to become comfortable with the life we know, but sometimes sticking to the same routine, or keeping things just the way they are, is a subtle way of holding on to the past. The truth is, the more we resist change, the more we deprive ourselves of new opportunities and experiences that could bring untold joy. We may fear that we won't be able to adapt, that we're too old to try something new, or that it will be too difficult to take on. But I'll say this, you're never too old to try something new. Every day offers a fresh opportunity, whether it's something as simple as meeting new people, trying a new hobby, or even moving somewhere new that revitalizes you. Change also brings growth. With every new chapter, you have the chance to reinvent yourself, to meet new challenges, and to discover just how strong and adaptable you truly are. Instead of dreading it, think about all the amazing things that have come your way because of change, the relationships, experiences, and wisdom you've gained over the years. At 70 plus, change isn't something to fear. It's something to welcome, something that keeps you dynamic, alive, and fully engaged with your world. Life doesn't end at 70. It transforms into something you never expected. There you have it, 10 things that simply aren't worth your time anymore. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like this video, share it with a friend who needs to hear this, and subscribe for more insights like these. And don't forget to sign up for my Savvy Senior newsletter, the place where wisdom meets a good dose of practicality. The link is in the